Hello and welcome to 0.2 patch notes, or as we like to call it, a bloodbath. Well, in the patch notes, as I've just finished reading them, as we did it on stream, I took some notes and everything. They've basically nerfed everything across the board to the point where 0.2 is going to be a completely different game. Now, here's the thing, before you start hating on me in the comments, I cannot make a proper assessment of what the hell is going on before I play the game. Because they haven't revealed a lot of things, and from what they have revealed, they've generally nerfed most of it. And I'm talking hefty nerfs. So, take it all with a grain of salt, but any theory crafting builds, any of the things, it all goes down in the dump because nobody will know anything. So, without further ado, let's do a recap. First, we can start fresh or in standard, however you would like. However, there's another thing that's going on in standard, and that is some gems, some support gems will stay, even though on the fresh one, they won't exist. So keep that in mind. I would strongly suggest starting in a fresh economy setting versus the old economy setting, but to each their own. Now, we have new content added, and the content list is significant. We've got corruption on main map, stronger monsters in corruption, cleansing the corrupted nexus. It gives Atlas points and cleanses the surrounding maps, which then drop fracturing orbs. Then we have a boss in each nexus. Corruption is no longer +1, has stronger mods. Corrupted nexus map to be openable must have 4 mods, so keep that in mind. Added respawns with 1 mod on map, you have 6 deaths, and with 6 mods you have 1 death per map. Unlimited entry exit for loot. As I said in my previous video, this might be a problem, well, most likely will be a problem for intermediate level players, because nobody will then play 6 modded maps unless they have to, like for towers and such. Everyone's gonna do like 5 modded maps or 4 modded maps for that extra safety, layer of safety. So I do think still, of course, I will, that we need to go back to 6 portals, but that's it. Boss rushing on maps, if you die, you respawn once at the boss and the rest of the mobs are gone. Reduced towers by number, but made them more powerful by making them unlock up to 3 tablets, which have been buffed by doing 1, 3, and 6 modded tower. The only tablet that has been nerfed is the Overseer tablet, which has the boss number reduced by roughly half. Towers can now spawn with every mechanic, including bosses. Here's one thing for tablets that I really want GGG to add, but not only tablets. It is, I want every map to have a boss, and that be the map progression mechanic. That'd be great. However, if you do Overseer tablets, make those bosses empowered in a way. Better rewards, but more dangerous. So that's what I would do. There's also like a lot of gems, whatever, skills, 25 new skills, but these are primarily spear, and on the image, we have seen that it is roughly 22 or 23 on the spears. So if it's 22, unless they add another one, right? If it's 22, then we have 3 additional ones that have been covered. So the 25 new skills are basically spear skills. However, the support gems are what's exciting, which they haven't revealed, so we will see about those. Now let's carry on with waystones, like endgame changes, waystones and such. Waystones no longer drop at lower tier than what you're doing, which is an amazing change, because to hell with waystones. Final map boss always drops higher waystone tier than what you're doing, and it also always drops a waystone, where last rare mob always drops a waystone in lower tiers, but in higher tiers, the more you roll the map, you are guaranteeing that property. So this is to prevent people having 3 million waystones. It doesn't really matter. We are still going to be having people selling waystones like mad. So we will see how this pans out. Unique maps now give Atlas passive points, up to 10 with 2 per different map, so do those unique maps. And recombinators being added is a good way how you can craft some items. Now, I personally do not like recombinators because I think they take away from the actual crafting of the game, as you like luck craft this, luck craft that, or craft this, deterministically craft that deterministically, and then luck craft a bis item. However, as Path of Exile 2 still does not have crafting system, recombinators are a good way to at least take 2 completely useless items and make them into maybe something useful. So if that works, it works. Good luck, it's completely random. It's not like weighted like it is in Settlers as far as I've seen. But anyways, tablets generally buffed other than Overseer, which got the nerf. Anyways, mechanics. So these are all that you can read and things like different stuff. So then mechanics. I'm just doing a breakdown. Bosses that are affected by difficulty and Simulacrum drop all their items regardless of difficulty. Pinnacle bosses are easier to encounter, and the tiers 0 to 3 have been nerfed a bit. No more experience loss or experience gain. This is content. However, no more experience gain as well. There we go. Omens always appear in Ritual, and a small chance for a second one in the thing. Now, there are a few minor things here and there, but those you wouldn't notice unless you actively look at the vendors. As an example, vendors in Ziggurat Refuge correctly have level 65 items and not 60 and 70. So, like, some of these you won't directly notice unless you specifically aimed for that, and then you know what you're doing in that regard. Atlas passives generally, other than obtaining up to 40, which is an increase of 10, they have been heavily nerfed. So keep that in mind. We don't know all about Atlas passives, we just know what is being presented here. However, just play around, find out, and see for yourself. That's what I'm gonna do. That's what everyone's going to basically do. Now, some general improvements. They've added some like stash boxes, moved in a simulacrum and stuff, updated like art and stuff. So that's nice. Player changes. This is what's important. Unarmed attack speed buff. Freeze build-up buff, ailment threshold nerf by 50%, so now it's way easier to be frozen, ignited, and whatnot. Curse effect is now magnitude and stacks with other effects, like as an example, slow and curse effect for temp chains. Heavy stun stuns players for 3 seconds now, up from 1, and players cannot block or evade hits while being heavy stunned. Boo! But we will see how many times we get heavily stunned, but it's not fun. That's not fun. Pin targets can no longer evade, and they count as light stun now. So now we have light stun, heavy stun. We'll see how that works, instead of just having stun threshold. Ascendancies. Ascendancies, some got buffed, some got nerfed, some got rebalanced. Titan, general small buff. Warbringer rebalanced. Gemling nerfed and rebalanced. Witch Hunter buff. Deadeye Frenzy consumes 2x charge instead of 50% for that. Pathfinder buff for defense, Acolyte small buff for darkness, and Mana Leech node rebalanced. No more instant Mana Leech. Invoker defense nerfed, and L expression buffed, the skill that nobody used. Blood Mage buff rebalanced 2 nodes. Infernalist demon form nerf and general rebalance. Chronomancer slightly buffed, and Stormweaver nerfed, especially mana stacking. Keep in mind, I will link the absolute thread, monster of a thread, in the description as well. Passive tree got changed a little bit. There's like stuff for Huntress and support for Huntress things and such. And we have general additions and slight rebalance of the nodes. You can read what exactly was changed here. I do not suggest doing this. Just do it when we get in the game and when you like open up the passive skill tree, like on the nodes that you are going to regard with using, obviously. Anyways, now we've gotten to the meat of things, and cheers, we've gotten to the bloodbath. Skill changes. Mana cost of skills generally reduced, and it's a bloodbath of a nerf. Grim Feast does not exist anymore, but it is going to make a comeback when they decide what the hell they're going to do with Grim Feast. So, yeah. Support gems. is literally this: nerf, buff, rebalance, nerf, nerf, rebalance, nerf, buff, nerf, mini buff, nerf, 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 rebalance, and such. You can read all of them here. Control F, find your support gem that you've used or skill gem that you've used, and you can see that for yourself. There's been a lot of nerfs, however. We'll get to the interesting part with monsters. But first things first, unique items nerf across the board. Like, some slight readjustments, but nerfs across the board for unique items. When you get them, read them, and price check them accordingly, sorry. Item changes have also been touched. Jews got buffed, which means now if you use Perfect Jeweler Orb on a skill gem with 2 support gem sockets, you can have 5 support gem sockets. So you don't have to use Jeweler Orb, Greater, and Perfect, right? So now you can go straight to Perfect. Drop chance, I hope they've added more, but we will see. I think they did mention something like that, but we will see. So far, in regular, in the first patch, I've dropped like 3 Perfect Jewelers, like 30, 40 Greater, and like God knows how many lesser ones. So I want to see more. Item bases have names now, so no longer advanced and expert. So that's a lot of ones. I think that was released yesterday for the info. Now runes have 3 tiers: lesser, medium, and greater. You can use a reforger to reforge 3 lesser into 1 medium and up to the maximum. Crossbows have gotten a base damage buff, breach rings quality nerf from 50 to 40%, and rarity gutted, which I am extremely happy about because I do not like rarity gameplay. Hate me all you want. I think rarity and quantity should be removed from the game other than the modifiers on like a map and such. That's what I think. Anyways, monster changes. This is where the nerfs, the original nerfs, are not as bad because monster armor has been reduced by 30%, Soul Eater has been nerfed significantly, lab bosses have been nerfed, the 4th ones, pinnacles no longer have armor pen against players, electrocute and pin builds up slower on players, and general mob rebalance. Some monster attacks are dealing more damage, some are dealing less damage and such, but that's a rebalance. Overall, it seems like it's a nerf across the board for monsters, which is good, which means that the actual nerfs and things for damage for players is not as egregious, but it's still a hefty nerf. Anyways, UI improvements, quest changes, and more MTXs for the end. I won't be doing this notepad. You can like pause the video at every single point, but yeah. Anyways, when it comes to the game itself, play it, see how you like it, and then decide. There are things I still dislike. There are things that I do like. However, I'm going into it fresh. I'm going into it without the mindset of like either being negative or positive, but I am being cautious as from what I've seen here and the amount of nerfs that have been going on, there is a high possibility I might rage quit the game faster than I did before. Keep in mind, I've rage quit PoE 2 so far like 3 times because of absolute garbage stuff, investing 100 divine in a build and still dying with like 6, 7, 8k energy shield and like 2, 3k life, just getting one shot, whatever. But it is what it is. Balancing comes in phases, and we will get better balance overall, hopefully. But yes, that is going to be it for this recap. Hope you enjoyed this video. It's more of a neutral thing. I think it's like 7 out of 10 for patch notes, but we will play, we will see. I will be playing Huntress Amazon. I'll see what I'm gonna actually play with, but physical skills are looking a little bit more interesting than Elemental. Elemental I've been playing a lot, so that's going to be it. And I will be playing it like casually and whatnot, so we'll see if I rush or if I don't rush. But yeah, for now, there's no further plans on playing than more than like 2-3 weeks. We'll see how it goes, but hopefully it's going to get better with every patch. So thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, give it a like. If you didn't, give it a dislike. Comment down your opinions, what you're going to play and such. And I will see you in the next PoE or regular video or stream. And once again, thank you so much for watching. Have a good one.